is like for pills or cocaine, or because I will go there.
What's the NA stand for?
Narcotics.
That's what I thought.
And don't do a little smile. Anyway,
I'm not smiling.
Yeah. Okay. He's not. He's got a straight face, and I'm the asshole. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we will go to the. I would go to these meetings, and I never liked to go to them because I would be like, you're in group or whatever, and you're like, yeah. I'd be like, yeah, it was just kind of sucked, just growing up. Dad wasn't around a bunch, and it was kind of shitty. And then some 83-year-old Korean War veteran who would just jam a big 1960s fucking hypodermic needle into his neck filled with black tar would speak up and be like, yeah, I ran my own kid over and I killed my wife. So they're really competitive about the pain they've been through, and so you end up feeling like, why the fuck am I even here? It's just a big like a big cock contest for a lot of those guys.
That's how it was. Whenever I went to this mental hospital for comedy, so I can write jokes about it later.
You just went for the clout.
There was this one kid in there who he was always changing his name, but not legally. And this
just in his own mind.
This wasn't like a non-binary individual or anything, because in that case I would have tried to adapt and stuff, but he just kept thinking of names that he thought were cool, and would get really mad if we didn't start calling him Spider King or whatever, and it's like, dude, your name is still well, I was about to say his real name. That would have not a good idea. That would have been Let's say Trinity or whatever, it wasn't. But
Morpheus.
I remember his he convinced the staff in there that his coping mechanism was Panic at the Disco, and so they got him.
What do you mean, listening to it?
Listening to it we had our rooms that were basically cells, and then we had a common area. Yeah. Where there's a TV, and if you are good for 4 days, you get to use it. Yeah. Well, he would use it to play Panic at the Disco and 21 Pilots. He only had 3 CDs, and 2 of them were Panic at the Disco, and the other one was 21 Pilots.
Oh my god.
And anyway, what I'm getting at, if we were talking about mental illness, which in there it was a bunch of chill guys, there were a couple actually demented people, but for the most part it was guys who were yeah, dude, I told my therapist I was gonna kill myself, and I didn't realize there were consequences for that. But if we ever joked about something, he would try and one up it. One time somebody was like, dude, I think I'm starting to hear stuff, and he was like, yes, some of us here actually hear voices all the time and hallucinate. And we'd be in a meeting or something, and he'd be like, hey guys, I just started hallucinating. Looking completely normal, clearly lying for no reason,
the hipster of the mental hospital.
Yeah. He tried to, I remember we had a little recess area. There's a bunch of depressed 17-year-olds, and he tried to cut himself with a piece of mulch from the playground thing, but he just got himself a scrape. Yeah. He lost all his privileges for a while over it, and no one was even impressed.
That
we were like, dude, is that the best way you can think of right now?
That doesn't even. I know that it's real because it's one of those things. It's it's not a. If you would have been yeah, he pulled a shard off the playground. If somebody's telling you a similar story like that, yeah, I pulled a shard off the playground and jabbed it into his neck and bled out. You're like, that might have happened, but it probably didn't. But something way more realistic that you encounter in a mental hospital is a guy that takes a piece of just dull mulch that probably has cow shit on it and bird shit and just trash, and is I'm done with it. I can't handle it no more, and then just rubs it against his hand until he gets a burn, and then
there was this one guy who like he took his they give you scrubs if you want. Nobody wears them. I don't know why you would. And he would wear them like for fun, I think. And he tried to hang himself by tying it really badly around his neck, and then sitting in a chair and just pulling up while seated.
Jeff
and
Epstein
like,
style.
Yeah, and not even like making tension on his neck.
Just making his face red.
Yeah, and so he had to be in like solitary or whatever because of it. And we were all like, dude, were you even trying? Because I was like, dude, they give you a chair and there's a radiator. Why don't you just kick back off that and break your neck when you hit the ground? Yeah, I thought of that 5 seconds into getting here.
Yeah, you walk into the door. Like, I was an outpatient, and it was funny because I think I've told you about this before, but I walked in and I was like, I walked in at nighttime. My roommates drove me, and I was like, hey, I'm on a bunch of medication and a bunch of hard drugs, and I'm gonna go kill myself, so I want to like stay here. And they were like, all right, we're gonna consult with a doctor, and we'll get back to you. And I was like, that's not how the movies are. Usually they just 5150 your ass, but all right, I'll trust your judgment. And then like an hour goes by, and I'm sitting in the room, and the nurse comes back, and she's like, yeah, we recommend our outpatient program. You can just go home. And I'm like, I'm gonna go home and like ram my head a bunch until I die from like swelling of the brain, and I'm gonna kill myself. And she was like, yeah, I get it. Just go home and come back tomorrow at 9. You're gonna be in our outpatient program. It's from 9 to 5. It's like a job. And I was like, I need to stay here. I'm going nuts. Like, I'm hearing shit on the radio, like personal messages to me, like, hey buddy, you know, it's time to go nuts. And anyway, the one, there were a bunch of, like, during group, like, there were a bunch of strange, obviously, like, when you're in a mental hospital, you know, you get a lot of, like, I guess surreal funny stories or whatever. But the one that sticks with me is that we were in group, and it was like a quiet group. No one really wanted to share. It was super early in the morning. And it was the outpatient and inpatient people. So sometimes the lady that ran group, like the main, like the second to main big dog or whatever, she wasn't the main doctor. She was just like the main therapist. She would share something in her personal life and would like try to kick shit off or whatever. So she was like, well, me and my partner are trying to have a baby, but, and she like jokingly was like, you know, when there's two women involved, they can get kind of crazy, all right? Ha ha ha. One of the girls I was in there with, she was like, if you need some like sperm or cum or something, I can just give you some of my brother's. And the lady was like, you know, like she was like, like, okay, time to do your shapes now. Like, it was just clearly she did not. This was a rhetorical comment to get the conversation moving. It was not like a consult or a question for like.
So bad.
Yeah, and so she was, but again, like it didn't stop there. She was like, no, it's super simple. So my brother, he's like 6'3", he's D1 at UT, and like I could just get him to like bust a nut in some Tupperware, and I can bring it to you, and then you guys can just do whatever the fuck you want with it. And I'm sitting in there like, yeah, I just like was on too much lithium, and then I was mixing it with like, you are out of your fucking mind. Like, I'm just chilling. Like, I fucked up and mixed prescribed with not prescribed, and I kind of like, my brain's fucked up a little. Like, not really that much, clearly, because I would never in a million years think to be like, yeah, you're a lesbian and you're trying to get that thing, like you're trying to have a little baby. Let me consult with my brother to bust off in some dishware, and I can bring it to you in group and hand it to you, and then you can. It
makes me mad because I could sit there for 6 months and not think of something that funny.
No, yeah,
and that's just someone's first thought. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was also like, we would be like trying to do. They really did make us do like arts and crafts, and she got mad at me for laughing. Because during, like, we would make collages out of magazines, whatever we were thinking of that day or whatever, and they would put music on, and she was like, put it on the rap station at whatever, in Austin or whatever, and Big Pun's I'm Not a Player, I Just Crush a Lot came on. And when you're at a mental hospital and that song is playing loudly, that, to me at least, is the funniest thing in the whole fucking. I mean, they're just, you know, it's just, I'm not a player, I'm still, you know, it's just playing at like a loud house party volume, just to drown out everything else. And I start crying, laughing, dude. Like I'm like, it was probably like I'm glad it happened because it was the happiest I had been in a long time in that moment, and I'm like weeping. And she's like, "What's so fucking funny? I like this song." And I was like, look, you just need to understand that, like, I'm in a mental hospital and I'm making a collage like I'm 7 years old and I got drug problems. And Big Pun's I'm Not a Player, I Just Crush a Lot is playing now. It's not like Tchaikovsky or Mozart or Chopin, or it's not music that's calming. It's not like forest sounds that you would associate with a mental hospital arts and crafts hour from TV shows and movies. It's Big Pun's I'm Not a Player, I Just Fuck a Lot radio edit. And that to me is like super. And I'm trying to explain myself. That was the wrong move, because she was like, no, you're making fun of me because I like this song. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not. I am now. I wasn't earlier, but like, I guess we're in it now. So, and then yeah, it spiraled from there. And like, I guess I didn't get in trouble. She got in trouble, but they were like, "What did you say?" And I was like, "Oh, it's funny that you're mad at me for thinking that this song is funny, and it's funny to me that you're upset." And then they were like, "Why didn't?" They're like, "You made her feel invalid or whatever." And I was like, dude, again, I'm not like one of the guys here that like ran his kid over. I just didn't really have anything else to do, and I was hearing shit on the radio. Like, I could have probably just stuck it out, but like, I don't pay medical debt, so I figure, fuck it, I'll quit my job and go to the mental hospital. Also, I was gonna like jump off a bridge or something.
Yeah,
it's neither here nor there. It's neither
here nor there.
You
know, at the end of the day, I mean, who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I remember we were in group therapy or whatever, and one of the older, it was just a bunch of like old black guys who ran it.
Nice. But
they were all like super chill, except for this one guy who was built like a Urukai. He was terrifying. But anyway, yeah, he this guy was like, boys, I know y'all are going through some tough times. I'm not gonna do the voice he was doing. It was just his regular voice, but
yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna, you know. What was it, Sam? He was like, I know you guys are going through some tough times, but I think this could really, really change your outlook on some things.
Uh-huh.
And he played from a tiny little boombox. I believe it was Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac. To just like 9 dudes, half of whom are there for overdoses, and the other ones are like they're going to like fashion school or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it's just a gay guy who smokes cigarettes all day. Don't say that's me. It was a different one. And
you beat me to it.
Yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes. Anyway, none of us are getting anything from it. Yeah. We're all like trying not to laugh, and he's like, I want you to close your eyes and think about what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And I just remember thinking in that moment, like, I don't think any of this matters. I think we're all just waiting this whole